for the listeners and also for Brace, I prepared a little bit of a timeline.
You certainly
because
did.
I do want to go through this because it's very weird. And I think it is worth detailing because like probably every other podcast out there except for Chapo Trap House, we are now on Kate Middleton watch, and we will be continuing to monitor this situation. And I encourage all of our listeners to do the same from across the pond.
I just think it's interesting, right? That when I maybe think that there's a famous person that I have interest in, Pamela Cruz, and wait,
That's not even her name.
Penelope Cruz, and I try to figure out where she is at all times and get as many recent pictures of her as possible and like try to monitor her location and stuff like this. I get a stay away order, and what every British person in the world, of which there are the teeming billions of Britishers out there, are trying to figure out, gang stalk the princess. It's like accepted.
You know what, though? What's interesting in this case is that, and I'll get into this, is that actually almost everyone who is trying to like put their nose into what's been going on is being reprimanded.
I actually did. You know what? I did look at some royal reporting stuff earlier, and yeah, they put out a statement.
Yeah, and like everyone's like, please respect their privacy. They're people too. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. It's like, no, they're not. We all know they're half lizard. Second of all, like, no. Since when has the press, this is very weird about this situation, is that the British press is basically like, we really want to respect the privacy of the royals. And it's like, since when? Very weird.
Yeah, which leads me to believe that she is shuffled off this mortal coil.
Okay, so the last time that Kate Middleton was seen in public was Christmas Day, which is crazy. And just whatever.
Well, they always trot him out then, right?
Yeah, well, no, she had it was like the annual like Christmas walk that they do of like, I'm going to church and I'm out and take a photo. I've got a funny hat. Blah, blah, blah. 3 days later, it gets reported that she's been admitted to the hospital.
This happens a lot right after Christmas because a lot of people get fentanyl in their stocking.
Yeah. So then nothing for 3 weeks until Kensington, which is a palace, where their office is out of, they announced she's undergone a, quote, planned abdominal surgery and that she will be in the hospital for 10 to 14 days recovering. Planned abdominal surgery. Okay, so that was on January 17th. Now, I want to note something, which is that they say the surgery was planned. Okay, it was planned. But then the statement goes on to say, because of this, she will now have to cancel some of her upcoming engagements, which, for our little gumshoes out there, turn the gumshoe brain on. You say, wait a minute, hold on a second. If this surgery was indeed pre-planned, then why were the events not canceled in the first place? Question one.
It's interesting because much like one of the pilots of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, who had nothing planned after the day that the plane disappeared, it raises a lot of questions.
It does. They say that all public appearances will resume after Easter, which is March 31st.
Good Lord.
So that's 10 weeks.
He is risen.
10 weeks after the surgery, allegedly, I'm going to say, took place. Okay? That's a long question, young Chomsky. 10 weeks recovering from surgery. Does that seem long?
I mean, abdominal surgery is like...
Well, there's a lot. That can mean a lot.
Yeah, but anytime you're getting in there, it's kind of serious.
Yeah. Okay. Now, the very same day, January 17th, we're back there, January 17th. Buckingham Palace, different palace, the famous one, they announced that King Charles has had a treatment for an enlarged prostate.
Oh, gotta milk it.
And that he is going to stay at a facility to have a, quote, corrective procedure. Now, it's weird that these two things were announced the same day, one. And two, it's also weird that the king's procedure, was announced ahead of time. It says where he's going to have this procedure, while Kate's was announced after the fact, right? So we've got two different kind of...
announcement timeline, or
Yes.
an announcement
Even
styles.
though Kate's was pre-planned.
Yes.
And presumably the king just realized something was up down there.
You think they're putting more organs in her?
Well, I have some theories, but we'll get to that at the
Okay.
end. Okay. So the next day we see paparazzi photos. Will is visiting Kate in the hospital. He's in the car. He's driving to the hospital, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's such a good prince." Blah 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 blah. Okay. Then a week passes. January 26th. King Charles undergoes his medical procedure at the same facility that Kate is allegedly recovering from her alleged planned surgery. Okay. 2 days after that, Kensington announces that Kate has now left the hospital and she's now at home recovering, but no photos are released. We don't see her. Now, this is unique for a couple reasons. One, when Kate gave birth, she came out of the hospital like an hour after and took photos.
Really?
It's like a huge fucking deal. Yeah. I don't know if it was an hour, but it was like the same day or right then. Like she was up and at 'em, taking photos in their face for the papers.
She's kind of like big dog in the like feeble, like malnourished mothers of England with that.
Well, it's more like the demands of the job and what the paper wants and what the people want from the people, the new people's princess, though I don't know if I agree with that. But the other thing that's weird is that the same day that they announced that Kate has left the facility, no photos, the same day King Charles is discharged after his little procedure, and there's photos of him waving at the camera. Camilla's next to him. He's like, I'm happy, I'm healthy, I've had my procedure, all my junk is good.
Yeah.
And he's on out of there the same day that Kate's leaving, right? Photos, no photos. Very weird.
Interesting. Because
Very
he's much
weird.
uglier than her.
And older, and more feeble.
But he is the king.
But he's the king. But Kate, I mean, in
She's
terms
the
of
prince.
popularity,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, we've got two roads diverging
He's just
here.
unpleasant to look at, so I don't know why you'd want a picture of him.
Well, there's that too. And then Camilla. Oof. Okay.
You're right. Woof, woof, woof. Beautiful.